When he was a bit younger, the Dreamkeeper used to wander alone through the shadowy lanes of an all-night carnival, enclosed in its false starry dome. But the spinning lights and garish music eventually started to feel too much like dreams. During nights off, the Dreamkeeper mostly sat up in his sleeping pod and reviewed case files. He studied the few screens available of background material on the most troubled dreamers. Truth was, he had little to go by. Many of the dreamers had entered the program before adolescence, and he wasn't allowed to go beyond the city's walls to research more about them. His little bedsit and his workroom were all he really knew. But now, he wasn't always alone.
How am I supposed to do it? Interpret the dream lives of others who have not yet really lived when I have hardly lived myself. Ridiculous, isn't it?
They say people born blind still dream of a world they've never seen.
Yes, I wonder how. Here's one I recorded 3 weeks ago, before I met you, from one of the earliest sleepers. Came from an old-fashioned family unit who were forced to put their daughter into the program. Should be labeled as reactionary, but possibly harmless? What do you think?
A young girl coming out of a school on the first day of the school year, greeting her mother and father with a big smile.
Autumn leaves falling, one of those bright golden days.
The cheers waving to the students as they approach the door.
Yes, a perfectly blue and welcoming sky.
The parents smiling too, watching their child come out of the building and both giving her a great big hug. And now the girl is in a playground after school. She's digging in a sandbox, carving imaginary worlds, a sandcastle for her dolls. In her mind, they are superheroes who can do anything. She is too shy, maybe, yet to play with the other children and thrives in her imagination. But she is happy there.
Yes, so far nothing concerning, a common motif, but see, the dream is morphing.
Oh, the girl has lost one of her dolls in the sand, and she's getting more and more distraught. Where is it? And the mother rushes over and she can't find it either. They're both digging frantically, the sand swirling in the air. Where did it go?
And now the sandbox is empty, and the girl is gone. Where did she go?
Only the mother is there, holding one of the dolls and calling her daughter's name. Strange. But the girl should dream her own absence, as if she's become the mother she still needs. How terribly sad.
Yes, I could recommend erasing that dream altogether.
She's been separated from the parents she loved deeply, and now you want to take away the one or two joyful memories she may still have left?
Not what I want, but what I am supposed to do. I can't take out the bad part without removing the good part too. In the end, too close to a disqualifying truth, too imbued with helplessness and grief.
But it's not just a doll the girl lost. It was her parents, her childhood.
That's true, but otherwise she has to be awakened and removed from the system, because deep down her psyche is rebelling against her fate, and memory is often an enemy of the future. Why do you think there are so few historians left? The unseen want us all to face forward, especially the dreamers. They want us all to leave childhood behind for good.
And how more and more children are being engineered without parents anyway. Less chance for nurturing or connection or touch. A simple hug.
Yes, for the unseen, any kind of intimacy is really out of fashion. Though at first they did allow some diversity in the engineering as a kind of control, but eventually they began to realize the dreamers might go bad.
You talk about them like they're a can of peas or potatoes in the old days, left in storage too long. Not that we've had things growing naturally in sunlight for quite some time.
Again, you make it sound as if I decided all this by myself, as if it doesn't make me almost yearn for what I'm supposed to condemn. But it's the unseen who want to know if the dreamers go off track. That's why they came up with the idea of the dream keepers. Like canaries were once placed in coal mines to sing out if the air is threatened, or die in the process as a kind of warning.
But that's terrible. How many dream keepers have gone crazy from those brief glimpses of haunted happiness? Remorse, guilt, the stress of the decisions they have to make, or committed suicide.
I couldn't answer that question myself. I'm the only dream keeper I know.
Uncountable angel stars showering sorrow and light.
Henry has stopped writing and gone out into the lobby to clear his mind.
Yeah, I guess it would be good to be special. Wouldn't want to be too expendable. I'm the only junior detective I know. Nice for there to be some job security in the world.
Henry.
Hey,
You could have warned me.
Hey, Bobby, you told me not to interrupt, and so it's too late now.
No, listen here, pal.
Bye-bye.
Henry? Good Lord.
Oh, hi, Uncle Marty.
Don't hi Uncle Marty me. You're too old for imaginary friends. Job security? You're the most expendable employee I ever had.
Thanks. Nice to know.
Were you taking a break again?
No, I was just going to make sure the equipment is working in elevator 2.
Why? Has there been a problem? Those recording devices are more reliable than you. Got them on clearance at Radio Shack before they went out of business. So, no more lounging around, okay?
I wasn't lounging exactly.
If I say you were, you were. Who pays your salary?
The company, I think. And it hardly even covers my rent.
You're lucky to get what you get. I mean, what is the proper amount for a total slacker? Always talking to himself. You know, sometimes I wonder if there's a screw or two loose in that green noggin of yours that needs tightening.
Uncle Marty, you make me sound like an android.
An android? You haven't been drinking, have you? The last guy used the extendable ladder for the lobby chandelier. Did his own self-portrait. 2 stories high when he was 3 sheets to the wind, and it took 4 coats to cover it up. The North Side Detective Agency does not tolerate drunks.
No, I only drink Coke, and only one at a time. Honest.
Huh? Better men have succumbed. Takes an iron will. How you will ever make a real detective, I sure don't know.
Real like, excuse me, real like you mean?
Ouch! Yeah, hey, I am real. That way you can do worse for a role model. Try focusing, really concentrating for a change. Like this. No. You need to keep your cards close to your chest. Give nothing away. I can read you like a book.
A book?
Yep, and not a very well written one at that. Here, try again.
You know, I think this could be an Olympic event.
An international tournament. Detectives with Belgian accents running around with magnifying glasses. Oh.
Working their little gray cells. I'm sure that would contribute to world peace.
Yeah, they're going to put you in a little gray cell if it wasn't for your mother, my dear sister, who paid my tuition for junior college.
She did the same for me.
Did she? Oh, what the heck? Anything new to report?
Not exactly, no. Life just goes on with the same uniformity, each day the same as the last, as if the universe was too bored to support any progress in anything. But then I haven't had a chance to create a case map yet, so...
Case map? Universe? You can't even find your way around the lobby. What's that you're holding?
Oh, this is just some of my notes, not organized yet.
I said, hand it over.
No, not right now. My handwriting is terrible, but I promise you, as soon as I have a chance to type them up. But in the meantime, I'll stay on my toes.
You can stand on your head for all I care. Just make sure those recording devices are working and ready to go.
But I thought you said before... Yes, Uncle Marty. But if you just let the devices run all the time, I'm not sure you would even need me.
Yes, wondered that myself.
I'm doing the best I can.
That's what I'm afraid of. Just don't let me down. Okay.
Marty glares at him and leaves the building. Henry starts back into his office, but he sees Amy and stops, immediately smitten and foolish looking to boot. I said foolish. I don't think you've totally lost your mind.
Oh, sorry.
Or what? Why do you always keep apologizing when you see me? I mean, a simple hello would suffice. So you still working in this building?
Well, I guess that's a matter of opinion.
Huh? You are the person I talked to last week, aren't you?
Yes, still me as far as I can tell. Why, were you hoping for someone else? Like a hero in some story?
No.
And are you still you?
As far as I can tell. How do you have that established?
Yeah, so am I. I mean that you're me and I'm you. I mean,
Oh! Ah!
sorry, I'm not very good at reading social cues. That's why Marty always says.
Marty?
I mean, my uncle always lecturing me and going on about that'll never really make a very good. I mean, that'll never really be any.
Sorry. There's something I wanted to ask you.
Yes, anything.
Do you know my grandma well?
Your grandma, not exactly. She seems very friendly though.
She is. My father used to say she was Meshuggah.
Huh?
A bit kooky. A few dramas short of the complete Netflix account. But I don't really think so. It's just she's been through a lot, you see. And she used to take care of me when I was little. I mean, I basically lived with her for years.
Parents going through divorce?
Yeah, how did you know?
Oh, it happened to my parents too.
Yeah. Well, so I bring her groceries from, now and then for her and her cat. Or cook for her when she's not feeling well.
That's very nice of you, but
Are you about to say how come I'm doing that when I'm the one walking with a cane?
no, I wasn't.
Because I'm about 50 years younger than she is.
Of course,
And she's just
sir.
sort of frail sometimes.
Frail, she seems stronger
And I
than
do just fine, thank you very much.
I understand.
Do you really?
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't
No.
mean to upset you.
No, I'm sorry, Henry. I was only teasing.
I guess we're both just meant to keep apologizing to each other. My friends, well, back when I had some in high school, they used to call me Rocket Man. I guess because I've always liked science fiction.
Huh. That would explain.
What?
Oh, nothing. I've read the classics myself. Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke.
Really? Gosh, I don't believe it.
Yeah, what? Why? Because, girls don't like science and aren't good at it either?
No, I didn't mean...
Oh, come on, stop. I was only kidding again. Well, mostly. I could bring you one of my favorites next time. Lem's Robot Stories. No? Okay. So the robots create a machine that can make anything starting with each letter of the alphabet. So it works fine until they get to the letter N and realize it's about to produce mass nothingness. Right.
I'd like to see that one.
Then maybe you'll let me see what you're working on. I mean what you're reading. I'm here, Tuesday and Thursday mornings and Saturday mornings. I'll look for you in a couple of days.
Okay, sure, great. I'll keep an ear out for you. I mean, an eye out for you too.
You too.
Yeah, I don't usually need a robot in my universe to mess things up for me, but maybe things have changed.
Henry goes back into his office.
Oh, I should take up the transcript for Marty. Gosh darn it, where did I put my transcript notes again?
But of course, instead, He picks up his pen and starts to write.
Oh, what the heck? Still exhausted from the night before, the dream keeper had nearly sleptwalked down the long corridor to his workroom. He took out his identity card, had his thumbprint scanned, his retina scanned.
And a full body scan before he was allowed through the first set of doors, and then went through the same routine again before finally reaching the inner laboratories where he worked. He brewed himself a pot of jasmine tea from an old crate he'd found abandoned in an alley, and settled himself down to watch. That night, there were only dreams that would make his superiors glad.
They all seemed to float in the same confident brew of images, as if steeping in the same pot, the perfect future, the perfect world. And they almost started to look more and more like each other, as if cloned from the same source.
For the unseen were determined to eradicate diversity. To confront a universe of endless change, they had recommended an immutable sameness.
It would only take 3 or 4 generations, but that was their dream, from which there would be no going back to anything.
Yes, everything was just honky-dory, as they used to say in the early part of the 20th century. But then,
Case 29523, an undefined room, a skylight that's almost like water.
it's raining.
The walls are sweating like tears. A sparrow perches on a porcelain teacup painted with a geranium that in turn rests upon a wooden crate that displays an antique image of peaches. The sparrow morphs into a medium-sized mongrel dog, fur all matted and sticking out as if it had got caught in the storm. It looks up at the skylight.
Dark eyes glistening.
The crate becomes a staircase, and as the dog climbs, it becomes smaller and smaller animals, and at the top turns back into a sparrow and flaps up the last step. It tries to fly out the skylight, but flutters back down to the ground, nursing its wings. A man is standing pensively at a window in the corner, dark eyes glistening, listening to the rain.
Then, as he was trained to do, David remembered.
This same dreamer dreamed the other night of a cornfield, the kind that has not been grown in the open in years. Under a bright sun, a giant harvester, the kind that also no longer existed, came down the rows driven by a boy of about 10, who was smiling and jaunty at the wheel.
Now, if this was a movie, the camera would pan wide and we would see that Holly had been there all the time.
So what should I do with this file? Is there something to be concerned about, given the image of confinement in the first dream and premature mastery over a world that no longer exists in the second? Some nights I almost feel as if I'm trying to read tea leaves. I could go on forever trying to make sense of it all. Hand me that book, will you?
Gaston Bachelard's Poetics of Space? It looks like you taped this copy back together.
Yes. He also writes about dreams. It's very old. Space contains time compressed. Yes, all of life in a single enclosed room, like mine. The things I'll never be able to do, trapped journeying only within the dreams of others. And now that one?
Le Dictionnaire des Symboles?
Yes, read me the epigraph, will you?
A metaphor is like a portal to another world, an interstellar drive crossing divides.
See, that's just it. I have no other way to get to other worlds.
No, maybe not just yet. But then dreams have helped the two of us to cross the divide, haven't they? Otherwise, we may never have met.
Maybe. Case 27118. Nothing changed from the last time monitored. Still manifesting dreams of being in charge of a series of high-level offices. This is the kind of perfect dream the elders would prefer by a young man clearly earmarked to go far.
Outside the window of this dream, twin suns blazing in the purple sky. People moving in orderly fashion from one silver building to another, each burnished steel tower like a knife cutting into the heavens, dividing the world carefully up into smaller and smaller pieces, orderly, pristine, perfect.
They're busy building defensive shields at the edge of the city. Safety, security, and strength, and confidence in their mission. See, this dreamer at least is completely content with the idea of his future. No misgivings, completely at home. Somehow it almost makes me feel worse.
Does it? Makes me like you more for it. What about this one? Ah, I'm soaring over the ground. No need of any kind of transportation. It's kind of fun. How effortless. Below, I see a vast city. It seems to be made of crystal rather than steel. Domes of all kinds, like little seed pods that also seem to hover slightly above the ground. Even the people walking between them don't seem anchored to anything. Nothing holds them down.
And yet, you can feel it. They still don't feel as if they're free.
Should she be questioning that?
No, but then you shouldn't be listening in either. And you never have needed the monitor, have you? You must be a natural empath yourself, though I can't always tell what you're thinking, as if you have a shield or a wall up and there's no way through.
You're one to talk about walls. At least I was accurate about what that dreamer felt, wasn't I? But I don't want her to be hurt. How can anyone be an empath and not have empathy?
I warned you. As soon as you become a part of it, there's a danger in starting to care too much.
Yes, a danger of being caught, of being held in thrall.
What does that mean?
Like in that old poem. What does ail thee, knight at arms, alone and palely loitering? The sedge has withered from the lake, and no birds sing. John Keats.
What did ail him?
La belle dame sans merci, the beautiful lady without mercy. She has him in thrall, so be careful.
Yes, I suppose I should be. But then you should be careful too.